Let you over to Jordan since you know this show.
It's DartBoard. We watched Mirai Nikki or the Future Diary, whatever you want to call
Whatever
it.
you
It's
want to
got
call
two
it.
names. I've seen this show before.
So we
We
got the
watched the
chance.
first
We
episode
got
of
the
it.
chance to watch it. I
But
I thought it was pretty good. I
oh
enjoyed
yeah,
it.
I freaking actually really like this anime. I'm pretty sure when I watched it, I remember putting it in my top 10 favorites of all time. So it's kind of a little unbalanced for me to really give my opinion first because I might
You might
persuade
throw
you
something
guys.
out.
Well, and I
No.
also might say things about it that are like influenced based on like seeing the rest of the show.
You said while we were watching it that it was kind of similar to like Death Note, and I can see where you
Yeah,
make that comparison, even just
it's
from
Yeah.
the first episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Death Note, except they know the future, so they just choose to like find ways or figure out ways to avoid their shortcomings rather than just like making the future
Is it's just
or
like a
however the
it's a
hell
different set of
It's
circumstances,
like
like the
they're
same
they're
that
on
same
the
kind of
death note.
in
that
my
same kind of
opinion.
tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. In my opinion, it's better than Death Note because if you watch more, like I said, a lot of it's influenced by watching more. If you watch more happens during this show
Which
than what happens during Death Note. And like, it's not that Death Note's bad, and it's not that Death Note has bad characters. Like, I would just say this show is a little more energetic in its presentation.
So you might have said during the episode that you liked Mirai Nikki more than Death Note. Would you say you still think that?
No, not really.
But I think we can pretty much say, or at least I can say at least that I would definitely I'll probably actually just watch more of this.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
probably actually watch it.
I would 100% watch more of this. Dan, would you watch
Um,
more of this?
um hmm. I mean I would probably watch more of it. Thing is
Okay,
I'm not sure that I would prioritize it.
yeah,
Like I
no,
think the
I get that.
concept's interesting, but I'm not sure like Brand says to go watch it. I think there's other
Mhm.
stuff I want to watch ahead of it. So it's like I
Yeah.
yeah,
but given like the circumstance of like not having to worry about time in that,
yeah.
would you?
Yeah.
Given the circumstance, I would watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So we should probably start the
Overall
actual format of
positive.
the show, which is like
What do you
one
like? What do you
positive
hate?
thing and one negative, like one positive
Yeah.
aspect, one negative aspect about the show. Dan, I want you to go first because you seem to have like the most like not like negative, but the least positive attitude towards it in the sense of like how excited you are. So what do you have
So,
about it?
so I'd say the positive thing is the first episode's actually interesting and it brings in the premise of the show really well. Like, it gets you actually slightly invested. Yeah, you don't really know the characters, but they at least bring the plot to a point where the plot's interesting and
Hmm.
you're actually invested in the show more
For
than
sure.
like just trying to learn about the universe. You already it's a simple enough concept that they could explain it and you know what's going on and you want to start.
And establish like a scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
They
Yeah.
established like the base scenario of the show
Yeah,
already.
they establish the base scenario, they establish like the universe, and they establish the main characters all in the first show, and it's pretty impressive that they're able to do it in such like an entertaining kind of package. Like I'll let you finish with your negative, and then I'll go
All right.
next if you don't mind, Brandon. If you want to wrap it up, I don't care.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So my negative, I think it's kind of got those. I mean, some people might call this positive, but it is a little like, almost to me, a little cringy how like they make it so over dramatic, especially the opening sequence. Like the opening sequence was like super dark and over dramatic, and
Yeah.
I don't even know what it even relates to the rest of the show, but
Hmm.
it was like there's a lot of like a little over the top
Yeah.
where I thought it kind of distracts from the actual tenseness of the show because they try to take it too far.
Yeah.
It's almost like they tried to make it edgy rather than just tense.
Yeah. I
And
can see that.
and
There's
that'd be
very,
my negative. It kind of
Yeah.
goes too far.
like the intro kind of gives it a whole different
And the intro is a
feeling of what to
the first
expect.
minute is like a completely different feel
I-
than the rest
yeah,
of the show.
Yeah.
I would say that like especially like just the intro, like the startup of the show makes the show seem much more edgy and dark than like what the anime is able to portray at
Yeah,
least in the
yeah.
first few episodes. But I can also attest to the fact since I've seen the rest of the show that like the show is dark, the show is edgy, the show is weird. Like it does fit those categories, but I do understand like where you're coming from in that sense of like it seems a little over dramatic at first to like the like first time viewer. From what I can attest to, first off, this show has perfect pacing and perfect just atmosphere, and that's why like I wanted to bring it up, because you said that like it seems too edgy and too like in your face, and I get that. When I first watched this show, I was kind of like skeptical of whether or not it was going to be something worth watching, and yeah, it seems really over the top at first, but I can say that like it does end up fitting like the tone that it presents. It is overall a very like sadistic, dark kind of
But
show.
it
Like
just
the
kind of
theme,
has to develop into that.
yeah, I will say the intro episode does a good job of like showing you that the characters are a little like weird. It does show like their emotions and kind of like the energy that's behind them. So like overall, I'd say my positive is that this show delivers. My one negative that I do have about this show is that it kind of is enveloped in romance, and if you're not into like anything that has to do with like a kind of weird romantic situation in like what is technically supposed to be like an action uh supernatural shonen or whatever the hell you want to call it, like one of those weird kind of shows, it also has like that romance part where it's like some people just find it cringy. Anyway, the main point is I'm trying to make is the negative. I would say is like if you don't like romance anime, you're probably not going to enjoy. I'd say at least 25% of this show. So it's kind of a important part. Like they are
romance takes a bit too much.
yeah, there is a lot of like, and I would say like it almost results in like some fan service as
Yeah.
situations that are kind of like, all right, this is really weird, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see that happening for sure.
So basically, I'd say yeah, not necessarily something I would not watch it for, but definitely something that you might find like
Great.
hard to get through. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got.
So I'll start with my negative, and I'll say that I didn't like the what's I don't even know what to call him, the 3D animated dude.
Oh,
the kind of leader. Yeah, him.
His name was Deus Ex.
Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's basically the time and space
I don't
lord.
know, and like that sounds really cool, but like the way he was presented wasn't very cool to me.
Yeah. So this is like
it wasn't very interesting, and
it's like beginning of anime 3D like coming mainstream.
It looks rough.
Yeah.
It looks really rough.
It was pretty rough.
And it doesn't help that he was basically just the exposition character, where it's just like, I don't really have anything I'm doing personally, but you know, I'm telling you about stuff, and like that's necessary and that's vital, but like it doesn't really do much for me to you know, like him.
Invest in him.
Yeah.
I'd say
So
his presentation is kind of awkward. So
I'll wait and see where his character goes. The part that I liked is I like the moment when she Yuno? Was it Yuno?
Yuno
when
is her
she
name.
reveals the ability that her phone has.
Yeah.
Because that's the moment where where the show concept really clicked in my mind.
Yeah.
Of like
I was like busted for that. Like legitimately.
Where like
it's like, oh shit.
Okay, this dude could see the future, but like I'm just waiting to see like what's the thing that adds like the diversity between episodes. And in just in the first episode, her having that ability of following him around, I think is really interesting. And just to having that really big catch right in the first episode is it's pretty good. I gotta say, it's like I just
like
thought my first thought was just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay,
yeah. Like her phone can basically predict, like if he's going to die, her phone will tell her how, like so and so dies by, and she can try and figure out a way to prevent.
Because what I was thinking was it was gonna just be like where everyone can read the future. You know, I was thinking like, is everyone's phone gonna do the same thing? And everyone just read the future, and everyone's just trying to prevent the same thing that they think is gonna happen? Like no, everyone's got different perspectives on things, and that's the big thing that I feel sets this apart from some other show that might do this same like similar concept.
Yeah. And to me,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
super cool.
to me, it's like crazy how this show does develop because like it does end up having more than just that one kind of story of like all these people and they're
Bless you.
gonna all try and kill him and he's gonna have to kill all of them. It has like more than just that one story going on. Like it ends up having like two or three different like kinds of tracks of mind as it goes, and which is a pretty impressive, feat for something that's only 26 episodes long. So
You all right, Dan?
Sorry, I'm just dying over here.
it's okay. Basically, in the end, all I can say is like this is a 2 thumbs up, like definite watch
It's
show for
JoJo with
me.
cell phones.
Yeah, I can 100% be behind watching this show. I can only say that like yes, there will be some absurd and weird moments that'll make you be like, okay, but like they're still like worth watching the entire show for. Like
Okay.
yeah, like okay,
All right.
I guess this is happening now.
Yep.
Yeah, there is some of that, but like, and there's fan service for sure. But like overall, I'd still say this show is really good. So
I'll
I
watch
definitely
another
watch.
episode.
Right.
Yep,
It's good.
good.
Good. Okay,
Dan,
bye.
did you watch another episode?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I already said I would if time was like infinite, but I probably won't, realistically.
Gotcha. So Dan
So it's
would
great.
watch another episode. So it's a great show. Watch it.
All
Buy
right,
it.
bye.
Slam it on your desk and go. Bye. Oh man.